Hey, howdy gamers, how we doing today, huh? Oh, man. You already know why we're here. You've seen the title, you've seen the announcement, and ultimately, I am long overdue to get this out into the ether, but we are here for none other than the 3v3 League Season 2 Finals Award Ceremony. My apologies. I'm recording this after quite a long shift. Hopefully, it will be premiering tonight as I record this on Wednesday the 13th? No, Wednesday the 15th. So hopefully it is premiering tonight. If not, you can point and laugh at me if I've done this late, or even if I'm just doing it at all. But without further ado, even though some awards have already been announced, some of them have been revealed, we're here for an award ceremony nonetheless. You will see me up here in the top right of your screen for today's showing. Our first award of this presentation is going to be to the most impressive newcomer. Now, this is only available to players that were new to the 3v3 format this season. Now, the player that did end up winning this award had a phenomenal season. They averaged 14.5 KOs per 10, 10.5, nearly 11 final hits per 10, and nearly 13,000 damage per 10 minutes, rivaling that of Rocky, aka BlitzXI. This player also had a 73% final hit conversion rate, meaning that 73% of their KOs they got the final hit on, and a plus 15, nearly plus 16 relative kill efficiency rating. For the award, they received 33% of the votes from Hakakakakori. Your most impressive newcomer is going to be Sergeant Daft Sausage. Now, the runners-up for this award, you will see down in the bottom, Taru with 20% of the vote, and then Ringo, Mira, and Ryusei Red, all with 13% of the vote. Moving on, we have the Most Intimidating Opponent Award. This is awarded to the player that players are the most scared to fight against, with 20 KOs per 10 minutes. One player hit that mark this season, 14 final hits per 10 minutes. The only player to have above 12, I believe, maybe even above 11. 16,000 damage per 10 minutes, the only player with above 13,000. 70% final hit conversion rate, plus 15.91 relative kill efficiency rating, plus 55.77 relative block efficiency rating, and a 4.54 final hits per death, with 27% of the votes from Keep Yourself Safe. It is none other than BlitzXI, with the runners-up being Corin from Nerd Asian, along with Dr. Dylan T. Both of them had 20% of the vote. The next award on the slate for us tonight is Plot Armor. This is awarded to the player that is deemed the hardest to kill. Now, looking at these stats with 4.2 deaths per 10 and 14,000 healing per 10 minutes, as well as a plus 343% relative heal efficiency rating, a 2.79 value over replacement player, 3.77 final hits and assists per death, with 40% of the vote. From Nerd Asian, it's none other than the little shit herself, Haztune Miku 01, aka Ace, with the runners-up being both Gloomy with 20% of the vote and BlitzXI with 13. Next up on the slate tonight, we have the Most Improved Player. Now, critically, this award looks at the improvement of a player between Season 1 and Season 2. So, players that were new to the league this season were unfortunately ineligible for the award. This player improved their KOs per 10 minutes by 1.2, their final hits per 10 minutes by 2.2, which is an impressive metric to be improving more than your KOs, and about 3,000 damage more per 10 minutes than Season 1. They had a plus 22% final hit conversion rate, and increased their relative kill efficiency rating by plus 58, nearly 59%, with 27% of the vote from Awfully Simple. It's Aussie. With the runners-up to this award being the Muffin Man, with 20% of the vote, and both Penguin and Como with 13% of the vote. Next up, we have the 3 most valuable roles. Now, not the roles in terms of Vanguard, Duelist, and Strategist, no. This time around, we're looking at the most valuable Dive, Poke, and Brawl. Now, the most valuable Dive, this was one of the most lopsided votes from the voting this season, I must say, with 47% of the vote. I think we all know where this is going. Your most valuable Dive for Season 2 from Nerd Asian, it's Monkey Brains, aka Penguin, with the runner-up being Superluminal, the only other player to reach at least 10% of the vote with 13%. Most valuable Brawl, on the other hand, this was a player that only received 33% of the vote, but taking a look at their stats, you can see why they were voted MV Brawl. 12 KOs, 10,000 damage blocked, and only 5.7 deaths per 10 minutes. I think that's 8.4 final hits per 10 minutes, but clearly whoever made this has no idea what they're doing. Plus 16% relative KER, plus 13% relative BR, and a 1.51 VORP. This player was on the hard-ons, and their name was Bubs. The runners-up for this award were Silver with 20% of the vote, as well as Rocky with 13% of the vote. And we move on to the final of this little trio with the most valuable poke awards. A player with 10 KOs per 10 minutes, 12.2 thousand damage, and 11,000 damage, nearly 12,000 damage blocked, 7.1 final hits, and 67% final hit conversion rate, with 27% of the vote from Awfully Simple. It was Co-Moment. The runners-up to this award being Sergeant Daft Sausage and Rocky, both with 20% of the vote, and Penguin, your most valuable dive, also making his name felt in the poke side of things. Now, for last season, the Outstanding Offensive Player, Dominant Defensive Player, and Chief Clutch Time Player, they were awards handed out to a single player. But it was raised to me that the idea of having those awards really does limit the importance and the significance of certain roles. For example, Outstanding Offensive Player is probably just going to go to a DPS, right? Dominant Defensive is probably going to go to a tank, if not another DPS. And a couple of players raised concerns that they felt like strategists would be a little bit hard done by. And I said, you know what? You're absolutely right. So this time, and going forward, we're going to have an Outstanding Offensive Player, Dominant Defensive Player, and Chief Clutch Time Player for each of the three roles. For the tanks, the Outstanding Offensive Player was Dr. Dylan T from Team Fish. For duelists from Keep Yourself Safe, I doubt this is a surprise to many, it is Rocky. Had record-setting levels of KOs, final hits, and damage this season, outputting so much pressure simply by existing. And for supports, it was Haztune Miku01, one of the most viable and violent supports in the league this season. Dominant Defensive. Now, for the tank, this went to Corin, Cool Maths Games on Nerd Asian, the duelist for this role. It was Silver, your runner-up for most valuable brawl, and the strategist, I think to the surprise of absolutely nobody, was Gloomy, enabling their team forever and almost refusing to die out of sheer willpower. Finally, the Chief Clutch Time Player. Corin, Penguin, and Mira receive the awards for Tank, Duelist, and Support in their respective roles. They've all demonstrated the ability to remain clutch, make very timely plays in overtime, in round threes, right? Both Corin and Penguin were vital to the very, very famous clip of Nerd Asian managing to take down Keep Yourself Safe during the regular season. That fight, that 2-on-1 against Taru right at the end of that game, that is what we are looking at for these players in particular, and Mira just consistently putting their team in the place to succeed and consistently converting on those opportunities. Finally, we have the Sportsmanship Awards. Now, this was originally just going to be one player again, but the admins were split, and we weren't really willing to budge, per se. Like, we were, but bear with me. Because I ended up deciding, hey, we've all voted different players. There's 3 admins. This is the 3v3 league. Let's just hand out 3 Sportsmanship Awards. And this is going to be the award handed out to the player that each admin individually has deemed to demonstrate the highest qualities that the league seeks to promote. That not being skill per se, but being showing up, doing your best, not being a cunt. Sorry, YouTube. My selection for the Sportsmanship Awards, it was Mira. I mean, the runner-back rats, what a tough time this season, especially to end it off. But in particular, Mira got this nod from me because following the unfortunate runner-back rats disqualification from the final series, they sent a message saying that the runner-back rats were completely behind Awfully Simple, and it really warmed my heart to see that, and to see such really unfortunate circumstances turned into such a moment of community and community growth. From Vanilla, we see myself. V cited the reasons being largely revolving around not having a great season and struggling to put any sort of consistent stretches together outside of consistently losing following the All-Star break, my goodness. And still showing up with the excitement and the dedication. So, thank you, V. And the Movement Man gave his Sportsmanship Award to Nyan, and I could not think of a better recipient myself from the Movement Man. Nyan has consistently demonstrated in real in the midst of real hardship and in the midst of struggling to rally teams around him in both Season 1 and Season 2, he has demonstrated the ability to show up, do the job, do it really fucking well, and then at the end of it say, hey, you did a great job as well. Thank you, to his opponent. So, Nyan, I really appreciate that as well. You've gotten the nod from Movement. Mira, Moment, Nyan, you are our Sportsmanship Award recipients for this season. But I really am beating around the bush because we do have a couple more awards. We do have the All 3-on-3 teams, and we do have the MVP. But before we take a look at that, I want you to take a look at this just one more time. From the Punisher and the disappear from Invis Gloomy. That was a fantastic play. The team wipes on Nerd Nation, and even though they do, they're having the most mobility in any hero shooter ever, but they've got no heals, and Corrin does go down, and Gloomy, what a fucking ultimate to give their team the advantage here, as Gloomy is just sitting in the back and whittling down everybody. That's a double KO for the Land Shark. Can they get the triple? And they do!
Holy shit. Will he get his refresh? He will not be able to. Chosen ult! Silva gets his refresh! Will he get triple? That's a triple!
Even in his absence, Team Fish gonna have a Hulk player. Dylan may not be here, but his spirit lives on. It's all narratives, it's all timing, it's all context. And the timing of this ult is gonna provide us some more context for this game as Silva rips through the enemy outlier. Nyan is also gonna fall here. We might see if they can keep this up the first round 3 of the season. Thanks to as Silva gets the triple. Nomu, 28 HP in a dream. Ryusei popping a second ultimate for this round on this Star-Lord. Doesn't stall for the overtime, but it's overtime nonetheless. A double KO for Ryusei Red. That big pick is going to be giving HHQ just enough momentum to be pushing in Chosen. I mean, tried to get away very, very effectively. What a hit there from Ryusei Red. Can they finish it off? No, but a lot of HP. Doesn't have a lot of options, but Red gonna get the pick here. Does get Chosen. In down low. There's the pick. There's the double. There's the fight. HHQ. Red caught in that one as Bubs diving in. My apologies for misspeaking there. Bubs does get chokeslammed out of it. Does have the ultimate. Is gonna pop it outright. Down goes Boo. Away goes Nyan. And the capture point 90. Everything to get him, but Corrin gets the double KO with his right click, and Corrin the triple. What a way to start the game. Is about to be a good well. I mean, Bucky into the Bucky is a very strong hit here as Corrin. What a fucking shot! My goodness, they're gonna rock it out as Taru does get a pick. Oh my goodness, Corrin with the juke. As Red is going to ult in. Are we going to see a Punisher ult to potentially counter this? No. It's going to be the Magneto looking for it. Red does go for the double jump. Doing everything to keep themselves alive and safe here. Corrin trying to poke them high, but Jeff's still able to get low. Oh no! He identifies where the Invis is, trying his best to get this pick, and he does. That's a big pick in on the Invis. Silva potentially going to be able to get revenge here, but no, Corrin with an absolutely clutch shot there. Cool can't collect it. It's just going to be Ace popping that ultimate. Red looking to pop one of their own, but Corrin doesn't even need to use the ultimate to counter it. Does get the pick there, as again Corrin making the right play, and again Corrin making the right play, and again Corrin making the right play. That's 3 in a row. To the keep yourself safe backline, and Monkey proving why he has been one of the MVP frontrunners in this early season, and indeed the leader for NNA. The ultimate from Corrin, and they're gonna need to destroy it if they want a chance to get in on this point, but Penguin with another final hit, and Penguin with a triple to end off this team fight, as I can hear from the other room. Monkey with the massive pick! My goodness, the 1v1 for the point. And I don't think Nomu realizes the caliber of pocket that he is trying to dive here, as Jeff L's also in danger of falling to this thing. Bang goes the fist, bang goes the thing, and he gets the triple. Here's the thing, 1v2, bang! There goes the Iron Fist, and Thing with far more self-sustain than this Angela, and Ange not able to take on the sheer might and willpower of Benjamin J. Grimm. But they're the only one alive, 83% and a dream. Spider-Man, that's a face, close-up of the face that we did not... Oh my goodness! His spider sense is activated! And that was an insane pick for Penguin! Ult on! Miku! Now's the time! Penguin gets a pick on the support! Penguin gets a pick on Rocky! But, you know, these shots are landing, sparks are flying, and the ult is getting popped! That's fat from Monkey! My goodness! Of the DPS and the Vanguard, Rocky peeling most of the time, still managing to get picks in his own right, as that's a very quick little double KO. Not only because I think Bucky is a better DPS than Star-Lord in general, but additionally, bang! Because of the knockdown effect of the orb. As there goes Apple, and bang, that's a triple. Down goes Miku to this Bucky, and even though they get to 80%, a double KO from Rocky is going to secure this point for Keep Yourself Safe. He is so, but Soup very low here. Rocky does manage to drop Tanya. Rocky does manage to drop Moby, and Rocky, can he finish off the triple and get this Deadpool back in spawn? Yes, he can. They're running, but this might be a stomp straight onto Rocky, but he misses! An absolutely outstanding dodge. And the mental games that Penguin is playing with this Keep Yourself Safe team does nearly get caught there, and what an uppercut from Rocky to get the pick advantage. That was potentially a very aggressive attempt to keep that play going there, as Rocky does get another triple. Yes, those are our 6 MVP finalists. They were voted on by a select group of voters, including the admins, including select fans who have shown dedication to consistently keeping up with the league all in all. They have defended to me in private every single selection that they made, and I am happy with the way that it turned out. Beyond happy, I am ecstatic. But before we get into the players that did make the all 3-on-3 second and then the all 3-on-3 first team, I would like to give a shout out to the 5 players that received MVP votes but ultimately did not end up making the all 3-on-3 teams. So tied with 4 points each, in tied 10th, we do have both Taru and Haru from Keep Yourself Safe and Invincible, opposite ends of the table and spectrum, but each of them received votes for their performance this season. In 9th, with a total of 7 MVP points, it was myself. I don't really have much to add here. I don't particularly think that I was an MVP candidate this season, but I appreciate the voter that did vote for me. In 8th, we have Haztune Miku 01. She received 17 total MVP points. I mean, obviously, the backbone of Nerd Asian at times, the consistent healer, the consistent support, the consistent pressure, and able to evade priority targeting from opposing teams, even when she was identified as the key to taking them down. In 7th, with 18 total MVP points, we have Bubs from the Hard-Ons. He did a phenomenal job this season to try and bring his team and drag his team past the first round of the final series, but unfortunately they did ultimately falter, but he did perform exceptionally well himself. And to all of the other players in the league, all of the other substitutes, all of the other fill-ins, all of the other covers, thank you all so much for playing, but ultimately this season has come down to 6 finalists. And we will be starting with the all 3-on-3 second team. We are going to read 6th, then 5th, then 4th in the MVP voting. In 6th, with a total of 30 MVP points, the support of Keep Yourself Safe, it's the Gloomster. They have had a phenomenal season, I will add. My little MVP highlights package there, it really did not do them justice, because a number of times I wasn't watching them enough, and I'm making an active effort to try and make sure that we are highlighting that kind of play in the final series coverage. But Gloomy, what we have seen so far is consistently pumping heals into the right player to receive heals, consistently evading targeting, consistently evading getting taken down, enabling certain comps to be able to dominate the league in the regular season, the ability to play multiple different supports to benefit their team in multiple different aspects. Fantastic job. Gloomy had 30 in 6th, but in 5th, with 50 total MVP points from Team Fish. It's the DPS, it's Silver. He has done a phenomenal job as what was not really meant to be an MVP season for him. He was placed with the reigning MVP candidate from Season 1 in Dr. Dylan T, but the new format allowed for his Hulk to be target banned every single game, bar one that Dylan was present. And instead of being a drawback, instead of being something that Team Fish had to contend with, it was something that really allowed Silver as a player to flourish. He was always guaranteed a hero that he wanted, and when he got the hero that he wanted, he was performing very, very well. But beating Silver out by, I kid you not, 1 MVP point, with 51 from HHQ. It's the flex extraordinaire. Ryusei Red ends up capping off our all 3x3 second team, just barely missing out on the first team. What a phenomenal season from HHQ's captain. Really thrown into the deep end early on, has a roster revamp, really wasn't feeling it, but stuck with it. Thank you so much, because the way in which they turned the season around was beyond exceptionally impressive. I am very, very grateful that they stuck around, and clearly all of the voters were too. A fantastic job from Ryusei Red. But then there were 3. And I could go through the third and the second and then first and talk about each of them, but that would kind of reveal the MVP ahead of time. So what I'm going to do is, at this point in time, I'm going to rip the Band-Aid off. I'm going to change the stream of this OBS, and you are going to see the entire MVP voting results. And as the transition happens, I will be announcing, in no uncertain terms, your Season 2 unanimous MVP. 100% of the first place votes, 120 total MVP points. Second place had 61. Was it really ever in doubt? Your Season 2 MVP is Blitz XI. It is Rocky. I am slightly blocking the voting results. My apologies. But yes, ultimately, this was the way that the voting shaped out. As you can see on this side here, all of the votes, all of the awards, everything has been tallied up. You can see 20, 16, 13, 10, 7, and 4 points for each vote, respectively. Each voter was required to put 1 through 6 so that we could guarantee to all 3-on-3 teams. So to Rocky, you have earned yourself a legendary skin of your choosing. Penguin and Corin have earned themselves an epic skin of their choosing, and Red, Silver, and Gloomy an uncommon skin of their choosing. Those are your all 3-on-3 teams for this season. And ultimately, I would like to say thank you all so much for being a part of this wonderful community that we are building. I am really, really hoping that Season 3 and beyond is nothing but up. It should be better balanced. There should be more intriguing, more in-depth analysis. You're going to have myself on the comms as much as I physically can. I will not be registering to play for a team, but I will be filling in if needed. I do really just genuinely love the format. We have still to figure out the meta with the Season 9 shake-up to Rivals as a whole, let alone this 3v3 side mode that basically no one knows about other than us. So ultimately, thank you all for watching. Congratulations to all of the award winners. I will send out the requests and the TBAs and the TBCs and the coupons for the awards and the rewards that all of them have to offer. And ultimately, I will catch you all on the flip side.